What's going on, baseball fans? How you doing? Welcome to another week of Power Rankings. Let's get to it. What's going on, baseball fans? How you doing? 107 people in the chat to start things off. What is going on, everyone? A lot of familiar faces as usual. It's always nice to see you guys coming back every week. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Hope everyone is just about ready for a new week. If you don't know, I am a teacher, and I am unfortunately going back to work tomorrow. I'm not going to have kids tomorrow. I have a whole week of pre-planning, but the thought of my summer vacation coming to an end, it's a sad thought. But hey, what can you do? You got to bring in the money. You got to pay the bills. So, but I will keep making videos for all of you guys. I will keep going live, and so nothing's gonna change here on the channel. Just letting you all know. Maybe not as much content as I've been doing before. Maybe one less video per week. So it always gets busy around the beginning of the school year. Also, I just want to acknowledge I had a $10 super chat from Beat and Cozy, I hope I pronounced that right, towards some beer after having to deal with those kids again when school starts. That is greatly appreciated, my friend. I might need a couple, not gonna lie. I had a beer last night. I went to the Red Sox game last night. I've been going to Tropicana Field for, I've lived in Florida now for, how long have I lived in Florida now? I can't do math off the top of my head, but I am on a losing streak right now at Tropicana Field. I don't think I've been to a Red Sox win at Tropicana Field in, it has to be at least 7 years. They can't. Every time I go, they can't win. I am bad luck, I guess, when I go watch my Red Sox play at Tropicana Field. So I needed that beer last night, but I had pretty good seats. I was actually really close to the dugout. I couldn't believe how close I was. I didn't think I was gonna be that close. I mean, I was like, 10 feet away. It was crazy. I mean, nuts. I haven't been that close before in a game. Anyway. Oh, I just dropped something. What is going on? Anyway, enough of me rambling. Again, hope everyone is having a good week. Hope everyone is ready for the new week. If anyone is new, hit that subscribe button for me. Hit the like button, the bell button, the share button, all the buttons. I don't care. Whatever buttons there are, just click them. But we have a little bit of news to talk about. Before I get to the power rankings, we got one particular guy out there. His name, if you haven't heard of him, he goes by the name of Kumar Rocker. Unfortunately, him and the Mets were not able to reach a deal, which is, kind of just stunning. This is a guy where he was the number one pick at one point. According to all the scouts, according to all the experts, Kumar Rocker was the guy. And then he kind of had a bit of an up and down season, a good season overall at Vanderbilt. They made it all the way to the College World Series, eventually lost in the College World Series final. But hey, Kumar Rocker was still a top arm out there. Jack Leiter ended up going number 2. Kumar Rocker, he had his ups and downs, and ended up kind of helping. It helped him drop off in that draft, just a smidge, all the way down to number 10 to the Mets. So, it's been kind of fascinating to see it all unfold. You're seeing a lot of draft picks getting signed lately. So, but Kumar Rocker, this came down basically, to the last second, and they couldn't get it done. So. The reason being is the Mets, they saw the MRIs, they had some stuff done, and they checked out the arm, and there were some things they didn't really quite like. And, they offered him a certain amount. At first there was a rumor of maybe like $6 million was going to get it done. And once they saw the MRIs, once they saw everything, once they got some opinions, they dropped their offer. And they couldn't come to terms. So Kumar Rocker, according to reports, he's not going to go back to Vanderbilt. He is going to basically, just be, independent for the next year. He's going to just kind of train on his own and whatnot. So it's just really it's very fascinating to me just because, this was a guy who was, could have gone number 1 overall at one point. And now he's not even signed. That's just crazy to me. And but for the Mets, they are going to get the 11th pick next year. Kumar Rocker will be allowed to enter the draft next year. So, it was pretty interesting. If we actually go take a look at Steve Cohen, he actually posted something today on his Twitter. I love what Steve Cohen does, the owner of the Mets. And this guy is just tweeting. It's not very often you see something like this. But he put a couple of tweets. So I feel like, didn't he put one earlier? I feel like he put one, I don't know, I can't remember. But he put this one a little earlier at 6:35 tonight. Education time. Baseball draft picks are worth up to 5 times their slot value to clubs. I never shy away from investments that can make me that type of return. So basically what he's saying is, hey, it wasn't worth the investment. They weren't willing to, up that offer. Well, they had, a bigger offer earlier on, but then they dropped the offer, I guess. And so basically Steve Cohen is saying here, he wasn't worth the money. They're probably thinking this is a guy that's going to need Tommy John, which, it might explain some things because, the velocity was a bit up and down this year, especially earlier on in his season with Vanderbilt. A bit down, it started ticking up as the season went on, but, he was inconsistent. There were some outings where he was getting hit hard. He had a few outings where he gave up, 5 or more runs. And so the Mets are thinking, this is probably a guy that's going to need Tommy John. So, but Scott Boras, Kumar Rocker's agent, is saying as well, like, no, he's perfectly fine. He's perfectly healthy. So, hey, they couldn't come to terms. It's, I feel like, Steve Cohen and the Mets are getting a lot of flack here, which I can understand. But at the same time, I don't know. I'm a different cat when it kind of comes to this stuff. I understand, don't get me wrong. I understand, how the way people feel about this kind of stuff. And, people are people at the end of the day. You got to treat people, right. But at the same time, it is a business at the end of the day. You don't want to treat your players like they're just, property and items. Like, you don't want to treat it like that, because obviously they're people and they have feelings and all that stuff too. But at the end of the day, it is a business, and I can understand where the Mets are coming from. They're probably thinking, you know what? It's just, this is a guy that's going to need surgery, or at least they thought that was their opinion on it. And they decided it just wasn't worth it. And who knows, maybe, only time can tell. This is going to end up being a hindsight kind of a thing. You're not going to be able to know really what the best, what was this the right call or not until, 5-10 years down the road. Who knows? Maybe for the Mets, maybe this ends up being the best decision they ever make. Maybe Kumar Rocker ends up having a lot of trouble and he's never able to find, his groove in the major leagues. Maybe this is a guy that ends up having injuries, consistently year to year, and he ends up not being able to turn into anything. I hope that's not the case. I really hope Kumar Rocker is able to go to the major leagues and have a successful career and have a healthy career. I hope that for him. But you never know. There's been so many guys over the years who have had so much hype, high draft picks, and they end up not turning into anything. The MLB draft, while I do love the draft, I think it's exciting. There's so many times, you get excited about the future prospects. You get excited about these guys, what could, this guy could turn into our future ace. This could be our next big thing. And it's very easy to get very hyped up over these kind of prospects, especially someone like a Kumar Rocker who's had a ton of success. But you have to also remember there are a lot of other guys who have had tons of success in college as well, tons of success, even in high school and so on. And they end up flaming out in the major leagues. A lot of them have injuries and whatnot. So, Kumar Rocker, yeah, he's special. There's a lot to like about him, but you don't know what he's going to end up becoming. And sometimes maybe the best move is the move that you don't make. We'll have to wait and see. It's going to be a hindsight call. You don't know what's going to happen. For the Mets, hey, if they look back on it, one day and Kumar Rocker is, pitching for, I don't know, let's just say, the Cincinnati Reds one day or something, and he turns out to be an amazing pitcher, then hey, you're going to look back on it and be like, hey, that could have been our guy. What can you do? You move on. So, hey, sometimes, you got to remember, guys like Steve Cohen, they're making these investments. They've made these business decisions over the years to help them get to the point of where they are financially. But, and of course, they're going to make, I guarantee he has made some bad investments over time. And maybe this ends up being a bad investment one day. We don't know. We don't know what's going to end up happening. But in the end, I hope the best for Kumar Rocker. He will be going into the draft next year. Supposedly, the Mets will get the 11th pick. The 11th pick next year. So, good for the Mets. At least they do. I'm glad they have the rules set up that way. So, where if they can't sign the guy, at least they can, get a pick for next year, too. So, at least with the Mets, hey, you still get a high pick next year. So, I think it's, hey, whatever. But we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be interesting. What are teams going to think of a Kumar Rocker for next year? This is a guy that's not going to go back to Vanderbilt. He's going to be on his own, according to the reports. So, what are teams going to think of that? What are he's not, is he going to be, could he go to a league like, somewhere in Japan or something like that? We had I forget the name. It was a few years ago, a guy got drafted and he ended up getting a good contract over in Japan. I forget the name. Was that the guy that he got drafted by the Braves and they couldn't reach a deal with him and ended up getting, like a 5 or 6 year deal in Japan? Yeah, Carter Stewart. Thank you so much. I appreciate that in the chat. Yeah, so that was a guy, could Kumar Rocker maybe go that route? Could he go pitch in Japan? Something like that. I don't know. But it seems like, he is going to be, according to what I was reading earlier, he's going to kind of just be on his own. And I don't know, who knows? Who knows what Kumar Rocker ends up doing? It's always possible he could go somewhere, like some kind of a league somewhere. We'll have to wait and see. But I would imagine teams would want to see that. I don't know. Maybe they feel like they've seen enough at Vanderbilt. I'm guessing this is a guy I guess he's just going to take the route of just, throwing bullpens at wherever he trains and whatever. Who knows? So maybe this ends up being the best thing for Kumar Rocker. Maybe he ends up, taking this next year, gets in great shape, maybe he ends up going higher in the draft next year. Maybe this ends up working out for Kumar Rocker. We'll have to wait and see. So, in the end, I hope the best for him. And hopefully for the Mets, they get a good pick next year. They get a guy that they can end up signing next year. So, but that is that. I also just want to point out one more thing. Speaking of pitching, this happened yesterday. I do just want to point this out really quick before I move on to the power rankings. So the Angels yesterday did promote, speaking of the draft, this was a guy that got drafted last year. Reed Detmers ended up getting called up to the Angels. They traded away an Andrew Heaney. So, basically, Reed Detmers is basically going to take his place in the rotation. They did have someone go to the IL, I believe. So, or Alex Cobb going to the IL. So, but, also trading away an Andrew Heaney, and they also did trade away a Tony Watson. So, Reed Detmers is going to get his time to shine with the Angels. This is a guy that moved very quickly through the Angels system. This guy was nutty. Good grief. This guy struck out a lot of guys in college, and he continued to do that down in the minor leagues. If we go take a look here, between AA and AAA, he pitched 60 innings total, and he struck out 106 guys. That's crazy. If we take a look, that adds up, or that averages out to be around just about 16 strikeouts per night. So Reed Detmers, I'm excited at the possibility, of what he can do. So very excited. This is someone I'm really going to keep an eye on. Keep an eye out for. Hey, the guy's had a lot of success in the minor leagues. Pretty exciting. For Angels fans, you got to be pretty excited about this. So who knows? We'll have to see if the Angels can go on some kind of a run. I don't know. We'll have to see. Can Reed Detmers carry them to the promised lands of the playoffs? We'll have to wait and see. But alrighty, everyone. So. We are at 236 people in the chat, or actually 255 people in the chat. 20 people just joined. What's going on, everyone? So we talked about Kumar Rocker. We talked about Reed Detmers. Let's get to the power rankings. So, with these power rankings this week, it's going to be a little different. We just also had the trade deadline. And, that's going to factor into a few of my decisions tonight. I'm going to take, I'm always going to look at FanGraphs with my stats. I'm always going to look at the recent stats. We're going to look at, where how they've been doing, how the teams have been doing recently and so on. But I'm also going to look, pay attention to the fact, a team like the Blue Jays adding a Jose Berrios, that is going to come into play with where I put a team here today. So a bit of a special kind of a power rankings today, a little different, a bit of a twist. So we'll take a look at everything. So alrighty, I feel like I had something else to say. Oh, speaking of the trade deadline, before I do get started, I wanted to give a big thank you to everyone. I mean, what a week. What a past couple of weeks. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. The MLB trade deadline, the live show that I had that day, we had 1,300, 1,400 people in the chat that day. We set a record the night before that, and then we broke it the next day. I believe we broke it the next day. The night before the trade deadline, we had a huge stream that night. We had the Max Scherzer, Trey Turner trade. Just an incredible week. I mean, we've gained, I believe, in this past month, if we were to take a look here, I believe in the past month, we gained about 4,000 subscribers, I believe. I'm going to verify that just to make sure. So, for the month of July, we gained 4,600 subscribers. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. So I do just want to say thank you, to anyone that's subscribed, anyone that's new. Welcome, welcome to the channel. I'm not just going to be talking, trade deadline stuff, obviously, because, trade deadline's gone. So, if you are new, I do the power rankings every Sunday. I'm going to be focusing probably a little bit more on the live stuff. I've been making a lot of pre-recorded videos. I'm going to keep doing those. But, definitely expect, more live stuff, especially because I'm going back to work this coming week. So the live stuff is just easier for me to do. It's easier for me to set up. So, but yeah, again, thank you everyone. What a month. July was incredible. So a big thank you to all of you. So, let's get to the power rankings. Enough of me rambling. So, the way I do my power rankings, I, go A+ all the way down to an F. So, I will factor into where these teams were last week. So these were last week's power rankings, and I'm going to kind of go off of that. I always like to keep it going. I like to keep it, consistent, based off of where they were last week. I don't start fresh every single week. So, for example, if there was a team, like the A's, they were a B+ last week. If they have been doing better, I'll bump them up to an A. If they've been doing worse, they'll move down to a B. Or maybe even a team can jump up a couple of tiers. So I am going to base it off of kind of where they were last week, and I'm going to, move them up and down accordingly. I am seeing a super chat coming in. Another one from Bet and Cozy. Who are your World Series picks and winner? Oh man, I don't know. I'm not ready for it. You know what? There's that super chat coming in. But you know what? I don't know. I haven't really thought about it too much. I'll tell you this right now. I went to the Rays Red Sox game last night at Tropicana Field. Man, that Rays team looks good, man. That Rays team looks good. This is a team, they are just so, they just persevere, man. They have so much perseverance on this team. They've had, quite a few injuries, but they just keep finding ways to win. I want to pick the Rays. I do. I really do, because first off, they're just a great team. They're a really good team. The amount of barrels that I saw last night, the amount of balls on barrel that I saw from that Rays team last night, they just play hard. They're just relentless. That Rays team, man, it was a pleasure watching that team live. Of course, I was going to see my Red Sox, but even though my Red Sox lost last night, just seeing how this Rays team played, they may not get the best pitching every single night, but they just seem to deliver when it counts. The Red Sox had, the bases loaded at one point, late in the game, and they couldn't do anything, and it was just like, Ryan Yarbrough had his troubles, but he was able to get through 5 innings. I just like this Rays team. I really do. I feel like they got a chip on their shoulder. You know what I mean? I feel like, last year they got so close. They're just a hungry team, man. The Rays, I'm really liking them right now. I know a lot of people might, they lost Tyler Glasnow, but with this Rays team, man, someone goes down and someone else steps up, and that's their prospect depth. Wander Franco's starting to come around a little bit. This guy just was torching the Red Sox last night. That might be the fastest man I've ever seen in my life. I've seen him on TV, and, obviously I've seen him run on TV, but seeing him in person yesterday, holy cow, that guy can move. I just really like the Rays right now. If I were to, I don't know. I know a lot of people, are thinking Dodgers, Astros. Right now, I'm going to say the Rays. I'm going to say the Rays right now. But take it with a grain of salt. My predictions are always terrible. So, I'll get one right here and there. But I just really liked that Rays team last night. So, anyway, let's get to the power rankings here. So, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. You are amazing, my friend. Thank you. So, let's just get the Fs out of the way first. I don't really think I'm going to really, change up anything here when it comes to my Fs. Arizona, Baltimore, Texas, especially considering the fact that, these teams like Arizona, Texas, they unloaded, a few guys at the deadline. They're, it is what it, I understand the Orioles are 6-4 in their last 10, but at the end of the day, it's, these teams are probably going to stay an F for the rest of the season. So let's just go put those. So Arizona, Baltimore, Texas, Pittsburgh, Minnesota. I believe those were my Fs last week. So I'm going to keep them at that. So let's do, here we go. Arizona, Texas, Pittsburgh, Minnesota, and the Rockies. So if we were to take a look last week at the Ds, I had Miami, Kansas City, the Rockies, and the Nationals. And you know what? I want to go take a look, actually, especially the Nationals now. There's no chance of them coming back now. They have completely sold. So here we go. Kansas City. Let's go. Oh, wait. Did I have Baltimore as an F? Yeah, I had Baltimore as an F last week. Oh, wait. Did I have the Twins as a D last week? No, wait. I had 5 teams. Who was the other team? I had the Rockies as a D last week. So hold on real quick. Let me move this over. Let's close these out. So, the Rockies. I had them as a D last week. Whatever. I'll keep them as a D. I'm not really too worried about these teams down here. Whatever. D, F, whatever. Take your pick. So let's do, here, I had the Rockies as a D. We had the Marlins as a D. Now, one team I do want to look at are the Tigers. Let's take a look at the Tigers. I had them as a D last week. But let's take a look. What are the Tigers up to? They've been playing some pretty fun baseball lately. 51-57. The Tigers have been kind of fun to watch lately, I would say. I'm not ready to move them up to a C quite yet. I think, for the Tigers, I'm not quite there. I'm not quite there with the Tigers just yet. I'd love to bump them up to a C, but they're 4-6 in their last 10. So if they can go on another kind of a win streak, hey, maybe they can make it up to a C. I think the Tigers can make it up to a C for me. So, alrighty, here we go. Let's move on. We also have, I think that's all the teams I had last week as a D and an F. So, yeah, pretty much, it is what it is with these teams. So, I'm not really going to get too much into it. So moving on. Also, I'm going to be keeping track of the Red Sox tonight. So, we have a 3-2 game right now. This is an important game tonight because, hey, this is a battle for first place right now. So, I will be keeping an eye on this tonight. So, let's take a look here. Up next, we had... Let's move that over. All right, so we have the Cubs. The Cubs, they basically unloaded. Last week, I had the Cubs as a C. I think, the Cubs... these are power rankings at the end of the day. How strong are these teams? I think you got to drop the Cubs down. They basically got rid of everyone. They're not really going to be doing anything for the rest of the year. So they've lost pretty much all of their talent now. But I think they had an amazing trade deadline. I think they were absolute winners at the trade deadline. They did exactly what they needed to do. So, amazing trade deadline. They brought in so many good prospects. I'm gonna guess at least a few of those guys are gonna pan out. They brought in some really good talent. So, but on these power rankings, the Cubs are a D. So. Let's take a look. Up next, we have Atlanta. So Atlanta actually made some pretty decent moves. Let's go take a look at how they've been doing. This is a weird team this year. Hopefully they can kind of start going on a run. They added some pretty good pieces at the deadline. Really loved the Richard Rodriguez move. Loved them adding Jorge Soler, bringing back an Adam Duvall. They got Jock Peterson a couple of weeks ago. I really like what the Braves did. They made some pretty solid moves, but what I really liked about their deadline was that they didn't get rid of any top guys. They got rid of Bryce Ball, for Jock Peterson a couple of weeks ago, but I really they just didn't really have to give up anything substantial. And I really like that. I thought they improved their team in a way where they held on to pretty much all of their talented prospects. So for the Braves, really liked their deadline. I thought that was good. Sure, they didn't add any top tier guys like a Kris Bryant or a Craig Kimbrell, but they brought in some guys, Duvall, Peterson, Soler. I mean, Soler's been going off lately. Those are three guys that can help replenish that offense with, from losing a Ronald Acuna Jr. Really like that. So, but for the Braves, so they're 5-5 in their last 10. So let's go take a look. So they lost today against the Brewers, tough Brewers team, especially with that pitching that they got today. But let's take a look at the Braves this past week. Oh, I'm going to have to click back into the last month. So, this past week going into the deadline, they split with the Mets. Or no, sorry, they played 5 games against the Mets. Crazy. They won 3 out of 5 against the Mets. And then, so they lost 2 out of 3 to the Brewers. So I think with the Braves, I do like the additions that they made. I thought those were good additions. So with the Braves, I had them as a C last week. I do really like those moves. And I know they lost today against the Brewers. Let's actually go take a look at the box score on this one. How did that look today? Yeah. Look at the Brewers, man. 20 games over 500. Really like that. So Charlie Morton actually pitched a pretty good game today. I mean, there's just the offense didn't show up today. It didn't really show up all that much. Not really anything going. They had some hits, some guys left in scoring position. 7 hits on the day. But yeah, I don't know. The Braves, they're going to have to just get it going. I feel like the Braves are going to go on some kind of a run. I feel it with this Braves team. There's some talent there. Overall, you know what? For this week, again, it's a bit of a twist. It's a bit of a twist, for this week because we have the trade deadline coming into play. That's going to factor into my decision for this week a little bit. I am going to bump the Braves up to a C+. I know they didn't have they were kind of an up and down team this past week, but I am going to give the Braves a bit of a bump because they made some really good acquisitions. I love the Richard Rodriguez move. I think it's going to be good for their bullpen. So I am going to give the Braves a bit of a bump, mainly just because of that trade deadline. They made their team better. Let's see if they can, I'm going to give them a week. Let's see how they do this coming week. They got some new faces on the team. Let's see if that ends up helping. Again, just to make it clear, I am going to be using the trade deadline. If your team had a good trade deadline, that's going to help me on where these teams go. So the Braves, I'm going to put as a C+. I think their team is better. We'll have to see if the results come along. Here we go. Moving on, we have the Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies made a couple of good moves there, or one move that brought in Kyle Gibson and Ian Kennedy. That's going to make their team better, or at least it should. We have to wait and see if it ends up working out. Kyle Gibson's having a good year this year. Ian Kennedy's having a good year this year. They had to part with a Spencer Howard. That was probably tough to swallow for some Phillies fans out there. I really like Spencer Howard a lot. Really love that changeup. But I have to wait and see. For the Phillies, they're in a win-now mode. They have talent on that team, so I can understand the move. It's according to Jeff Passan and all these guys out there, Ken Rosenthal, they were saying the prices were high for this year, at the trade deadline, and the Phillies had to pay the price. So the Phillies, they clearly think they're in a win-now mode. So, but for the Phillies, 52-53, let's go take a look at how they did this past week. So again, look at the offense today. Of course, they're going against the Pirates. And look at Kyle Gibson. He actually made his debut today. So let's go take a look. How did Kyle Gibson do? Well, it looks like the results are quickly came together for the Phillies here. So Kyle Gibson in his debut, it is the Pirates. I understand that. But, went into the 7th inning today, a couple of runs. Hey, good start for Kyle Gibson today. That's what they need. I thought the Phillies needed another guy for that rotation. Take a little more pressure off of that bullpen because that bullpen's not all that good. And, Ian Kennedy, Ian Kennedy actually pitched today. He actually gave up a couple of runs. So let's see if Ian Kennedy can if he can start producing the way they thought he was going to. So not a great outing for Kennedy today. Did have a couple of strikeouts, but hey, for the Phillies, so let's go take a look here at how they did this past week. So, actually, where are they as of right now in the NL East? So, while that's loading, let's take a look at how they did this past week. Alrighty, so you split with the Nationals. Actually, you lost 2 out of 3 to the Pirates overall, so another an up and down week. But a big win today. That's a feel-good win. I understand it's the Pirates, but, you got a good start from your newest acquisition, Kyle Gibson. Yeah, sure, Kennedy had a bit of a rough outing, but hey, that's a feel-good win right there. So, for the Phillies, they had a good deadline. I liked what they did. So we're going to have to see if that ends up panning out for them. So last week, we got a super chat. $1.99 from R from the Go. Did I say that right? I'm sorry. Remember to hit the like button, everyone. He is telling you, everyone, to hit that like button. Can we we have 374 people in the chat right now. We're at 106 likes right now. Can we get to 200 likes for tonight? I think we can do it. We're more than halfway there. Let's see if we can do it. We almost got 400 people in the chat. That's awesome. So let's go take a look. So for the Phillies, kind of like the Braves, I liked the additions that they made. Kyle Gibson right off the bat pitched a good game for the Phillies today. I like that. So, you know what? I'm feeling, it's been a feel-good week, and I'm in a good mood. I'm going to bump the Phillies up to a C+. I like the deadline that they had. They made the moves they needed to make. They needed to address the bullpen. They needed another depth guy for the rotation, and they added a good guy in Kyle Gibson. So, Phillies get the bumpity bump for me for this week. So, let's take a look here. Up next, we have the Angels. This Angels team stunk at the deadline. What the heck is this Angels team doing? I understand Reed Detmers is coming up, but come on, Anaheim. Come on. Also Philly, I forgot to mention, they're 3.5 out in the division. So that division is definitely up for grabs. And the Braves, they're 4 out. So this is going to be a dogfight between these three. Really looking forward to see how this race develops down the stretch. I think it's going to be really fun. I definitely think you could see all 3 of these teams in the mix going into the final weekend or the final few games of the season. So moving on here, we have the Angels. So this Angels team, not a good deadline, so that's definitely not going to help give them a bit of a bump. But Reed Detmers, he actually had a bad debut. I was just talking about Detmers today. I didn't realize he started today. So, oh boy, that's not looking good. So let's go take a look. What the heck happened in this game for Detmers? I didn't realize he had a bad start today. Didn't realize it. So, oh brother. Detmers, 6 runs. Ugh. Couple of home runs. Man, I bet Angels fans are pretty excited about that, but that's not a good start for Reed Detmers. So for the Angels, another super chat. Beatin' Cozy with another $10. Dodgers with the God tier rating. Man, oh man, this Dodgers team, they're looking pretty good. They're gonna come up in these power rankings here eventually, but man, this Dodgers team's looking good, man. So looking forward to see what Max Scherzer and Trey Turner end up doing for them. Not going to see Trey Turner for a little bit because I believe he's on the COVID list. Max Scherzer, any word on when his debut is going to be? So anyone know, let me know in the chat. But I appreciate that, man. You're going crazy with these $10 super chats. Everyone, give a round of applause for Beatin' Cozy in the chat. Really appreciate that. Supporting the channel. I really do appreciate that. So also, everyone, hey, and just real quick, with, all these super chats, I'm going to let you know, every time, whatever money that this channel is making, super chats or whatever, I'm putting it towards the channel. Just a couple of weeks ago, I got a bit of a better lens for the camera. But probably the biggest purchase of all for the channel, all of your super chats have gone towards a PS5 and MLB The Show. I'm going to start doing some live stuff with MLB The Show. I'm thinking, man, I gotta start going live with that. So just letting you all know that, any super chats you guys have, it does go towards the channel. I'm not going out there and, buying Chipotle, getting McDonald's. I'm not doing all that. So I'm actually trying to put your super chats to good use to improving the channel. Hey, anything I can do to improve the channel, that's what it's going to. So again, super chats are greatly appreciated for that. So, anyway, but for the Angels, here we go. The Angels, so last week, I had them as a C. I'm going to keep them at a C. I mean, they're kind of just whatever. If we take a look at what they did this past week, again, Detmers having a bad start today. But hopefully Detmers can figure it out. Hey, he is a rookie at the end of the day. He's had a lot of success in the minor leagues, but it's probably going to take him some time. Anyway, they won 2 out of 3 against the Rockies. They lost 3 out of 4 to the A's. So I think for the Angels, I mean, they're kind of teetering right now. They could eventually become a D. I'm going to keep them at a C right now. I just don't think there's nothing really to change my mind. They didn't do any better, but they are starting to kind of fall back a little bit. They're getting in danger of D territory. We'll have to wait and see. So. Alrighty, here we go. Let's take a look. Up next, we have the Cleveland Indians. So the Indians, they made a couple of trades. I did like them adding a Miles Straw. I thought that was a pretty underrated move. I'm a Miles Straw fan. Astros fans, let me know what you think of losing Miles Straw. What do you think about that? So for Cleveland, I mean, I don't know. Again, it's kind of another one of these C teams. They're at 500. Lost the White Sox today. Looked like Cal Quantrill did pretty good. So let's take a look here. Cleveland Indians fans getting geared up to start cheering for the Guardians. Starting to get geared up for that. That's going to be weird. That's going to be so weird. I mean, come on. I don't know. I'm probably still going to call them the Indians for the next, 5 years. If you hate me for it, I mean, whatever. What can I say? I don't know. I'm so used to calling them the Indians. I don't know what to say. I mean, God, just the Cleveland Indians. That's all I've known. It's gonna be so weird calling them the Guardians. Anyway, so you split with the Cardinals. You lost 2 out of 3 to the White Sox. Whatever. I'm just gonna keep them at a C. Nothing crazy. Nothing special. Just keep them at a C. But I did like a couple of the moves they made. I did like the Miles Straw addition. I thought that was pretty good. Added some prospects. Cesar Hernandez, going to the White Sox, getting a prospect for him. So I like what the Indians did. Anyway, let's move on. We have the St. Louis Cardinals, 53 and 52. Adding a John Lester, a Jay Happ. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. I thought they did what they needed to do. I mean, realistically, that's what the Cardinals needed. They needed starting pitching depth. If we go take a look at the Cardinals as of right now, the Cardinals, let's take a look. Let's close out of these guys. Let's also no, that's the wrong button. There we go. So looking at the Cardinals rotation right now. So, I mean, it's definitely looking better. I mean, I know Happ and Lester, they're not really having great years, but I mean, at least you've got some guys in this rotation now. You're going to get, Jack Flaherty back eventually. Any word on Jack Flaherty? What's going on with him? Still dealing with that oblique. I'm sure he's going to come back pretty soon, I would imagine. So, yeah, he's already on a rehab assignment as of a few days ago. He pitched in AAA. He went 2 innings, so they're ramping him back up. So you're probably going to see him back, maybe in 2-3 weeks or so. So I would think that's probably a good timetable for him. But for the Cardinals, let's take a look. They did win against the Twins today. That's a game that you should be winning. So, the Cardinals are going to be really interesting to pay attention to. Could they make some kind of a run? They have gone on runs before. They have talent on this team. It's not a bad team by any means. I'll go take a look at the stats here in a little bit. If you take a look at the Cardinals, I mean, they're 9.5 back in the division. Could they make a run for a wild card? They're 6.5 out. It's not completely out of the question to think the Cardinals could go on some kind of a run. So I would imagine, look out for the Cardinals. They added some depth. I think that's good. I mean, sure, I understand John Lester and, J.A. Happ. They're not going to, these are 2 guys that are probably not going to take you to the promised land. But they are arms. They've been making their starts. That's what the Cardinals need. They really needed that. I mean, Happ is... he has just been awful. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe moving to the National League, will be better. He won't have to go against the DH all the time. So maybe maybe you could end up having some kind of a run with the Yankees. When he was with the Yankees back in 2018, he got traded from Toronto to the Yankees at that deadline. He ended up going 7-0. He had a 2.69 ERA. That FIP was definitely higher, but he provided good innings for the Yankees after he got traded. So could he end up doing the same thing for the Cardinals? And for Lester, kind of the same story. ERA stinks, FIP stinks, but, he's making his starts. So we'll have to wait and see. The last time John Lester was traded was back in 2014. I know it's not the same John Lester. I understand that. But I'm just looking at the last time he got traded. When he went to Oakland that year, I still remember that, man. I was so sad when John Lester got traded. That was one that hit me. I really like John Lester a lot. But anyway, 2.35 ERA, a 3.13 FIP that year. Again, that's 7 years ago. That's not going to happen again. But maybe he could at least provide some kind of innings. We'll have to wait and, see what he can do with the Cardinals. Who knows? Going to be really interesting seeing him go pitch again in Wrigley Field for the Cardinals. That's just weird, man. But let's take a look at the Cardinals. So one more time, looking at the schedule this past week. So, split with the Indians, and you took 2 out of 3 against the Twins. I think for the Cardinals, they were a C last week. I'm going to keep them at a C. I need to see more from the Cardinals. I did like the deadline that they had. I don't love the deadline that they had, but I at least like that they addressed a need. So, but yeah, Cardinals, keeping them at a C for right now. Let's take a look. Up next, we have the Mariners. Let's click out of these tabs. Look at the Seattle Mariners. Lost a couple in a row there. So they were looking pretty fun at one point. This Mariners team, the one thing about this team this year, they kind of go on these little runs, and they had a good run going there. Ended up trading a Graveman. Whatever. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, it ruined the clubhouse, chemistry. It ruined all of it. They love that guy. But I mean, I don't know. When you're looking at it on paper, I understand on paper it's not going to be the same thing, but they added a Diego Castillo after that, who's going to be under control for a few more seasons. And then you added an Abraham Toro in that trade. I love that. I loved what the Mariners did at the deadline. That's just my personal opinion. I understand some feelings probably got hurt. Some guys were sad, but hey, a business is a business at the end of the day, and it is what it is. I mean, these guys are big boys. They'll get over it. Anyway, but let's take a look at Seattle. Let's see what they were up to this past week. So, losing today against Texas. So, Marco Gonzalez looked like he did pitch pretty good today, but wasn't enough to get it done. And Jared Kelnick has actually been better since coming up. I'm actually going to take a look. Let's go take a look here at Jared Kelnick. What has he been up to? So, he kind of did some things with the batting stance a little bit. He's a little more upright, he just looks stronger in the batter's box right now. But when he first came up, a little hunched over with that batting stance, but he looks a lot stronger. Looks like his legs are coming into play a little bit more here. He just looks better at the plate. But let's take a look here at the numbers for him. Jared Kelnick, where are you at? I'm not even seeing him. Oh, here we go. Still not doing all that. He's negative 1.1 wins above replacement. Are you kidding me? Well, let's take a look at what he's doing. But yesterday he went 2 for 5 with a home run, 4 RBIs. So Kelnick is definitely playing better since coming up. If we go take a look at the game log for him, where are we at? So, he went 2 for 5. Or was that the 30th that he did that? Yeah, so he went 2 for 5 that night. And so he had a 2 for 4 night, a couple nights before that. So he's definitely been a bit better. He's been better. So if we take a look, what are his numbers overall? I mean, he's still having a dreadful season overall, but we are seeing some improvements with Jared Kelnick. Again, these rookies, they got to go through these growing pains a little bit. I mean, I think Jared Kelnick, I think he's going to end up being fine. The tools are there. I think it's going to translate. So, got to remember with these rookies, they're adjusting up here. So, but for the Mariners overall this past week, let's take a look here. So, you lost 2 out of 3 to the Astros, and then you lost 2 out of 3 to Texas. So, not a great week for Seattle. I did like the moves that they made at the deadline. You're able to bring in a Diego Castillo to replace a Kendall Graveman. You brought in, a young third base prospect in Abraham Toro. Wouldn't even consider him a prospect anymore. He's pretty much up at the major leagues now. So, for the Mariners last week, I had him as a B. I'm going to keep the Mariners at a B right now. I did like the moves that they made, but overall, not a great week, up and down kind of a week. So for the Mariners, I'm going to stay with them right now. I think that's, unless we see something drastic either way, I think the Mariners are going to be just a good B team, unless they end up going on another winning streak, or if they start losing drastically again, then we're going to start seeing them fall. So I'll keep the Mariners at a B right now. So only so far I've had a couple of teams move up. So not really too much movement in the power rankings as of right now. So up next, we have the Cincinnati Reds. They've been playing some pretty good baseball lately. 56-50, 7-3 in their last 10. I like what the Mariners did at the deadline. I thought they added some pretty good pieces. A Sessa and a Justin Wilson from the Yankees. Who was the other guy they added? I'm going completely blank. What do the Reds do? Here we go. Reds transactions. Spoke track. Where are you at? Who's the other guy? I'm going completely blank. Cincinnati. Trade. I'll tell you what, Spoke Track is probably one of the better sites for looking up like transactions and all that. Oh yeah, Michael Givens, that was it, from the Rockies. So, they added a few pieces here. Wilson, Sessa, Givens. That bullpen was terrible. Sessa's having a pretty good year with the Yankees, or was having a good year with the Yankees. So I thought that was a pretty good move. Givens been decent this year. The FIP is higher than his ERA, so that's something to keep an eye out for. But, I like what the Reds did. I think the offense is fine. The starting pitching has been pretty solid for the most part. If we take a look at the starting pitching overall for them this year, that's offense. Let's go to the starting pitching. The Reds have surprisingly had some okay starting pitching. They're 12th in starting pitching this year on Fangraphs. Overall on the year, they have a 4.26 FIP. That's pretty solid. It's around league average right now. They're getting things done. I like what Cincinnati's starting rotation has been doing, but for the bullpen, though, it's been really bad. If we take a look at the bullpen, they really needed to add some guys to this bullpen. It's been very thin. If we take a look, Cincinnati, they're 26 in the bullpen this year. That's not good. A 5.30 ERA. The FIP is a little better at 4.81, but it's not good. So they needed bullpen guys. So I like that they did that. And they've been playing better baseball as of late. If we go take a look at the schedule, winning against the Mets today, beating Marcus Stroman today against the Mets. Ooh, we are so close to 400 people, 399. Let's take a look here for the... here we go. Taking a look. Am I in the right month? That's June. Here we go. So, you won 3 out of 4. Super chat. Oh, what the hell? Oh, my God. Beat it, Cozy, with a... Oh, my God. I can't breathe. Oh, my God. Beaten, Cozy. Are you kidding me? Whoa! I'm so sorry. I yelled, and oh my God, I'm so sorry, everyone, for screaming. But I mean, good grief! My goodness, $100 super chat. You guys are absolutely insane. I'm sorry if I just destroyed your eardrums. I apologize. But come on, I mean wow, man, you are amazing. I really appreciate that, my friend. Thank you so much. He says towards the PS5. That's definitely going towards the PS5. I'll tell you that right now. Thank you so much for that. I'm telling you, like I was saying earlier, all these super chats go towards the channel. So anything I can do to improve the channel, it's going to go towards it. So I really appreciate that, my friend. Thank you so much. You're amazing. Wow. Thank you. That's all. I mean, I'm stunned. I'm absolutely stunned. I was not expecting that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Everyone, round of applause for beating Cozy in the chat. Really appreciate that. So, wow, my face is tingling right now. My face is tingling. I can't see. I don't know what's going on. That took me by surprise. Crazy. All right, what was I talking about? I don't even remember what I was talking about. I think I'm talking about the Reds. I think I'm talking about the Reds. Oh, yeah, here we go. The Cincinnati Reds. You're killing me, my friend. You just completely destroyed my brain. I don't even know. Can I finish these power rankings? I don't know. We'll have to see. Cincinnati Reds. This past week, good week for the Mets. 3 out of 4 against the Cubs. And then you took 2 out of 3 against the Mets. I mean, this Reds team, they're playing good baseball right now. They made moves to the bullpen. Maybe they weren't the best moves. Maybe it's not like a Craig Kimbrell kind of a guy. But hey, whatever. They're making moves, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that with the Reds. So last week I had the Reds as a C+. I'm giving the Reds a bump. They are a B. I like what the Reds are doing. They're playing well. They made the moves they needed to make at the deadline. So up to a B for me. Here we go. Moving on to the Mets. Hey, they had themselves a deadline too. Actually, I'm going to keep Spoke Track open. I am going to take a look at what the Mets did. So we all know Javier Baez, going to the Mets. I'll tell you right now, Javier Baez, he looks pretty good in a Mets uniform. It's kind of one of those things. It's like, when you look at it, it's like, God, it just looks right. It looks right. He just looks pretty good in a Mets uniform. I don't know what it is. It just looks right. So, but unfortunately, that didn't really seem to help him all that much. Today, or it didn't really help the Mets all that much today. Losing today, Marcus Stroman not having a very good day. And then we were just talking about Kumar Rocker. Unfortunately, that's really nothing to do with the power rankings, but not a good day. Oh, another super chat. Don't tell me it's another 100. Oh, $5. Okay, whew, I can breathe. Here we go. Brian Trujillo, $5. Giants #1, Kris Bryant with a home run. Kris Bryant, man, he's looking pretty good in a Giants uniform too. I know it's kind of one of those things. It's like you have seen these guys in Cubs uniforms forever, and you don't even know what they're going to look like in another jersey. I'm one of those guys where I get excited at seeing a guy in a different uniform. Is that just me? I don't know what it is. Like, there's something about seeing, like, I get excited at that thought. I don't know. What are they going to look like with different colors and whatnot? I don't know what it is. Like, you do the jersey swaps with Photoshop and stuff like that. I don't know what it is. It's just like when I just see Kris Bryant in a Giants uniform, it blows my mind. Javier Baez in a Mets uniform blows my mind. But they just look right. I don't know what it is. Bryant in a Giants uniform, I'm all about it. Look pretty good. So anyway, let's take a look at the Mets. But Javier Baez is off to a pretty good start. He homered in his debut, so that was pretty cool. But for the Mets, this past week, you lost 2 out of 5 to the Braves this week, and then you lost 2 out of 3 to the Reds. So, for this Mets team, I like the moves that they made overall. I think Javier Baez and Trevor Williams was decent. Overall, I think Baez, I don't like the on base. I don't like the low average, but I love the pop that he provides. That slugging percentage is going to help. But he's also going to provide some good defense as well. So Francisco Lindor and Javier Baez at second and short when Lindor comes back is going to be great. So it's going to be good defense. I like the addition of Baez. Another $5 super chat. Dylan Alex, fans seem to forget we're leading our division with 19 guys. That is true, on injury reserve. Haven't had a healthy starting rotation or lineup, all year. No Lindor or DeGrom yet. So hopefully, DeGrom, hopefully he is good to go. The Mets, you do have to give them some credit. This is a team, hey, they're 55-49. Sure, maybe it's, you expect that record to be better. It's a -7 run differential, but that's right. They have had a lot of injuries this year. That's a big thing. That's a big thing with these teams. It's a very underrated aspect of how your team is overall, is looking at the health. Are you keeping these guys healthy? Are you keeping them, in game shape? All the time, and for the Mets, that has not been. It reminds me of that 2019 Yankees. Maybe not to that extent, but you feel for this Mets team because there was a lot of talent. And they've just have guys dropping like flies. But hopefully these guys can get healthy by September. I could see this Mets team slowly getting these guys back over the next month, and hopefully, they can go on a run, in September. And I think that team is set up for that. They just got to get these guys healthy, man. So hopefully that's the case with the Mets. Are they going to be able? Is that strength and conditioning team? Is that the guys worrying about the health of these players? Are they going to be able to get these guys ready to play? Have to wait and see. So for the Mets overall. Last week, I had them as a B+. I still think there's a lot of talent. I mean, they've had success this year. So the Mets, they're 17th overall in offense on the year. If I take a look at how they did for the month of July, the Mets actually had a good month offensively in the month of July. So they were 4th overall in July. Have to keep an eye on that. So they have been hitting better. If we take a look at the starting pitching over the month of July, the Mets were, where were they at for the month of July? They were 20th in starting pitching. So another super chat coming in. Dylan Alex, again, also for some reason we beat good teams, but our offense is stagnant when we play bad mid teams. If we go on a 5-game win streak, I think we got it. Yeah, I think the Mets, they're just a win streak away from, just silencing the doubters. I really think, and that team is capable of, winning 10 in a row. I mean, they're very capable of that. There's so much talent on that team. So I think it's a matter of, I think they're very close to putting it together. I think they're very close. They just got to get these guys back healthy. I think the Mets, my prediction is they're going to go on a run, and I picked them to win the division before the year started. A lot of people were picking the Braves to win the division. I stuck with my Mets pick. I'm still going to stick with my Mets pick. I still think they end up winning the division, but we'll have to wait and see. But for the Mets, they haven't really been doing great with the starting pitching in the month of July. And the bullpen actually struggled. Wait, no, I'm sorry. I take that back. Let's see where they ranked overall. The bullpen, actually, no. Okay, I stick with it. The Mets actually did struggle in the month of July, 22nd overall. So, the pitching needs to but they've had some injuries. Hopefully Carrasco, can provide something. And, DeGrom, hopefully he can come back and, hopefully they can just keep him healthy. I just hope that he is just good to go. Syndergaard, what's going to happen with him? Trevor Williams, I thought might have, whoa, what's going on here? Oh, Canadian $50 super chat, Abba Edgar. What's going on, my friend? Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Toward MLB The Show 21. I mean, I got to play MLB The Show now. I got no choice. Probably going to stick with roster rebuilds for now. I'm, like how to fix certain teams. I'm not very good at the show. I'm not very good at it. I was always good at MVP baseball. But MLB The Show, I have never been good with the hitting, but maybe, I'll put a little more effort this time into maybe playing a little better. But that's probably what I'm going to be doing with MLB The Show for the most part on the channel. Probably doing roster rebuilds, like how to fix certain teams. There's one channel that does it really good. The Ant Ortiz. He has a great channel. If you're not familiar with him, he does all of these roster rebuilds on MLB The Show. But probably with me, the difference with me is I'm going to do it live. That might be a bit risky. We'll have to wait and see how it goes. But, I mean, that's the way I can do it a little differently. So, let me read your comment towards MLB The Show. I really appreciate that, my friend. Playoff teams, Tampa Bay, White Sox, Houston. You have the Red Sox and the Blue Jays as the wild card. Very interesting. I have a Twitch account, always playing the show. Hey, Abba27, go follow him on Twitch. He likes playing the show. So go follow Abba27 on Twitch if you want some MLB The Show in your life. Again, really appreciate that. You guys are going crazy with these super chats tonight. Thank you. Thank you so much. Again, all of these super chats go to the channel. So let's take a look at the Mets. Again, I had them as a, what did I have them as last week? I had them as a B+. I'm going to stick with a B+. I think I'm not going to drop them. They made a move in a Javier Baez. They made a move in a Trevor Williams. If we take a look at the Mets overall, actually, no, let me go to the roster resource. I think that'll be better. So Trevor Williams, as of right now, if we take a look, so where is he at? Where is Trevor Williams? Well, I'm not seeing him in the rotation. Taijuan Walker is another guy that's going to have to start, stepping it up a little bit. They also got Rich Hill. I mean, I don't think he's going to provide amazing results, but I think Rich Hill's an arm. He's been healthy this year, so that's been good. But where's Trevor Williams at? I'm not seeing him anywhere. Oh, they put him in AAA? Oh, really? Okay. So, okay. Well, with the Cubs this year, the ERA was a little high, but the FIP was 4.52. So, I'm guessing he's going to come up eventually. You know, I would imagine. Get some starts, you know, or at least go in the bullpen. I would imagine, right? So, but the rotation, they are going to have to start turning it around a little bit. Again, they have DeGrom on the IL. You know, Peterson's not going to come back. You know, Lucchese's not going to come back. Syndergaard, let's actually see if there's any news on Syndergaard as of right now. He threw a bullpen session just a few days ago. So, I would think maybe Syndergaard can get a couple of starts in September. So, that's going to be good. But yeah, for the Mets as of right now. And then Lindor, I would imagine, is going to come back. Let's see what's going on with him. He played catch, fielded grounders the other day. I would guess maybe, you know, a few more weeks for Lindor. Obliques, you got to be careful with those obliques, man. They can really keep you out for a while. But yeah, I mean, Carrasco. Actually, how's Carrasco doing? How is Carrasco doing? He pitched on Friday, didn't factor into the decision, so he threw 4 innings. So, you know, okay start for Carrasco overall. So he pitched 4 innings, gave up 3 hits. So, okay. That's okay, but good to see him back. Good to see him contributing to the Mets now. So that's going to be a boost. But yeah, for the Mets, I'm going to keep him at a B+ for right now. Let's move on. We have the Toronto Blue Jays. Look at the Blue Jays making some moves. Berrios pitched good today. Jose Berrios having a good game today. He looked great. He looked fantastic against the Royals today. There were some pitches today that looked so nasty. So nasty. But let's take a look at the Blue Jays. Overall, they're 6-4 in their last 10. They've won 4 straight. So the Blue Jays here, they're looking like they're pretty good. They've added a couple of pieces, or they added a couple of pieces at the deadline. They got, again, Jose Berrios. They added a Brad Hand. So I like what Toronto did. I feel like they made some pretty good moves. Once again, let's go take a look at these trades that they made. And they brought in Joakim Soria too. So I like it. Let's go take a look at the Blue Jays roster as of right now. I was saying this for a long time. Blue Jays fans were telling me, Robbie, we need a bullpen guy. We need a bullpen guy. The starting rotation's fine. I stuck by it. I was thinking, no, I think they need a guy for the rotation. Because while I do like a Hyun-Jin Ryu and a Robbie Ray, I don't know. That's just, it's whatever. You know, it's fine. I don't know. I think it's good. But I think they needed someone else. I don't know. To me, like, even if you make the playoffs, I mean, what are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that? I mean, sure. I mean, maybe you could win a couple of games, but I don't know. To me, the way this Blue Jays team looked, I mean, they didn't look like they were going to get past the division series. I didn't see it. So, but a Jose Berrios, that's a really solid arm. Really like it. Really like that. I love that move. I hated them. I know I've had some Blue Jays fans comment on my trade deadline winners and losers videos saying, you know, it was okay giving up an Austin Martin. I'm sticking by it, man. I love Austin Martin. I respect all the people that said, you know, Austin Martin's a little overrated. You know, it's okay to part with him, blah, blah, blah. I just love Austin Martin, man. I loved, you know, when I was at Vanderbilt, he was so good. That was a tough piece to give up, but I did like that they added Jose Berrios. I thought that was really good. And for the bullpen, you've added a Brad Hand. You've added a Joakim Soria. I mean, sure, Brad Hand's not having like an amazing year this year. He's been fine, but overall, this bullpen, it's looking a lot better. You know, I mean, Joakim Soria has been fine this year. I mean, it's 4.30 ERA. He's got the 3.74 FIP. So I think Joakim Soria, that's a veteran guy. I like that addition. I thought it was a low-key, pretty good addition there. For the Blue Jays, if we take a look at how they've been doing. So, you know, against my Red Sox, they split with my Red Sox, but then they swept the Royals this past week. So, hey, if we're factoring in some things here, you know, last week we had the Blue Jays as a C+. Blue Jays as a C+. I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking either a B or maybe a B+. So there's always a couple of times during my power rankings where I like to get you guys involved. Let's have you guys vote. Where are the Blue Jays going to go? They're going to go up to at least a B, but do you think we should put him up to a B+? Let me know in the chat, B or B+. Let me know. All right, here we go. Looking back. Ooh, this feels pretty even. I feel like I'm seeing a lot more B+. I'm seeing an A. Ooh, Noah Wright is not having it. I feel like I'm seeing more pluses here. I'm going to look at one more thing here. I'm going to look at the stats. So, Toronto, they've had a fantastic offense this year. I believe they're second overall in offense. So the starting pitching is getting better here. Getting better. Oh, I'm seeing a super chat that just came in, and they also just went back to Toronto. I mean, I actually think that's going to be really helpful, not just because they're going to be playing in front of the Toronto fans, but, just getting back to some normalcy a little bit. I really like that they finally, baseball back in Toronto. Like, enough is enough. I mean, like, come on. Let's get back to normal here. Back to Toronto, man. That's what I'm talking about. So, for Toronto in the starting pitching, they were 22nd overall, but now they got Berrios. So that's going to be great. And for the bullpen, they were 24th overall. I think that's going to get better. They're back in Toronto. They made some good moves. I like it. You know what? We're going B+. We're giving the Blue Jays a little love today. We're going B+. They're right there with the Mets. I think the Toronto Blue Jays, a bit dangerous this year. Especially adding a guy like Berrios. I like it. So, let's move on. Let's get out of here. Let's move on to the Yankees. Look at the Yankees lately. Listen, you've all known I've had faith in the New York Yankees for this whole season. I picked the Yankees to win the World Series this year. And I've been sticking by my guns. I think this is still a playoff team. I'm not sure if I'm still considering them a World Series team. I was still sticking with this team as a playoff team. I thought they were going to be able to get out of the... But I also was considering the fact that I feel like the Yankees, a month ago, I was thinking in my head, there's still a lot of talent on this team. But you know what? Come trade deadline, they're going to make some moves. And that's why I was thinking, they're going to be good. You got John Boy out here saying, I love John Boy, but he was saying, like, this is not a playoff team. They're not going to make the playoffs. But I'm thinking, well... Okay, could you at least hold back until the trade deadline? Could you, just wait and see what they do? I thought that team was still pretty good. I think they just didn't have the right guys in place. I thought putting a Greg Allen in there was really good. They needed to get some guys coming back from injury. I thought that Yankees team was pretty good. I thought they were very good. I just didn't think they had put it together yet. I think they just had a tough up and down first half of the year. So. And then they went out and made some moves, which I thought they were going to do. I thought they were going to make some moves because it's like, you have a good team. It's like, why would you just stand pat? It made no sense to just stand pat because obviously they just couldn't seem to get any kind of mojo. They did need to add a left-handed bat. They did. And they added two. They added two really good ones. So the Yankees, they're looking really good right now. Anthony Rizzo's looking really good. Really like this team right now. And like I said, I thought this team was good before. I know they had. I just didn't think they had hit their stride yet. But they made a couple of moves. They're looking good. Rizzo is 5 for 9 right now. I think that was a huge addition. I think that was a really big addition. Honestly, if you're the Yankees right now, try and get this guy locked up. Try and get him locked up. Why not? Get this guy signed because this is a guy you can have at first base for the next few years. Luke Voit has not been the answer. Rizzo stays healthy. I think that would be a great move. A solid left-handed bat. I get Rizzo signed up. I really think so. So, good series this weekend. Chapman getting the save today against the Marlins. So, how has Gallo been doing? And they also added Andrew Heaney. I really like that move. I think he's going to be better with the Yankees. So, the Yankees, this past week, they won 2 out of 3 against the Rays. They got pounded against the Rays in that third game, but they swept the Marlins. I really like what this Yankees team is doing. So real quick, I want to go pull up the Yankees as of right now. So I want to take a look at their team, take a look at what they're looking like. Don't forget, you're going to be getting Severino back eventually too. I think that's going to be really nice. I like the way this team looks right now. LeMahieu, Gallo, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, Torres, Sanchez, Urshela. Still got Gardner in there. I think you got to... come on. Why can't we have Greg Allen in here? I don't know why they're just... Oh, has he been hurt? Oh, so, okay, he's been dealing with something. What's been going on with him? Okay, he's been dealing with a bit of a knee thing. I think you got to get Allen in that lineup. I think that's a real... Gardner is fine. Gardner, to me, needs to be a fourth outfielder. He needs to be off that bench. Fourth, fifth outfielder. I think that's where Gardner needs to be. I would really like for them to keep, stick with Greg Allen. So, the rotation right now, hey, Cole is Cole. Taillon's been better lately. Montgomery... I don't know what it is about Montgomery. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. He always has good numbers, but maybe it's just that a couple of starts against the Red Sox. He hasn't really been all that great, but hey, Montgomery's overall doing good for the year. Heaney, I like that move. I actually thought that was a pretty, a move that not really a lot of people paid attention to. The FIP has been a lot better for him. He had bad defense behind him with the Angels. I think, with the Yankees, it's going to be an improved defense. I like that. I like that better. Oh, another super chat. Aber Edgar with another $10 Blue Jays fan. I think they are a B+ or A. They just passed Seattle and will pass A's and New York because their schedule is a lot easier. That's another thing to consider too. Toronto, real quick, let's actually take a look at where do Fangraphs have the Blue Jays as of right now. So they're giving the Blue Jays a 34.7 chance as of right now to make the playoffs, 28.8 to win the wild card, and just about 6% to win the division. So, hey, Toronto's not out of it. I liked what they did. I liked their deadline. I thought, Austin Martin, that was a tough one to give up. So I didn't like that. But overall, adding a Berrios was huge. So the Blue Jays are not out of it by any means. So the Yankees, as of right now, a 54.4% chance to make the playoffs. So it's going to be a battle. These two teams are going to battle. These are four teams right now that it's going to be a dogfight until the end. I would not be surprised if we saw let me actually open this up. Actually, how are my Red Sox doing right now? Oh, great. My Red Sox lost. Perfect. I forgot to turn my TV on, so I couldn't really keep an eye on that. So, my Red Sox got swept. You got to love it. But the Rays are now sitting pretty in the division as of right now, game and a half. Honestly, I've liked this Rays team all year. Not a lot of people were picking the Rays to make the playoffs this year. I still had them as a wild card for this year and would not be surprised at all to see them win the division. I wouldn't be surprised for, one of the, two of these three teams to be in the wild card game. So, I know you got Oakland out there. I know you got Seattle. But if we saw the Red Sox, the Yankees, Toronto, two of these teams in the wild card game, wouldn't be surprised. Honestly, if we saw the Red Sox, Yankees in the wild card game, good grief. That's crazy. That's rivalry. Man, with that rivalry in the wild card game, a one game, man, that's popcorn right there. I'll tell you that right now. That's popcorn. So let's take a look at the Yankees. Again, they've had a good week. So last week, I had the Yankees as a C+. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm bumping them. I'm giving them a bump. I'm going B+ for the Yankees right now because that deadline they had, they made some trades this past week. Rizzo, Gallo, obviously, but I like the Heaney move. I like it. I like what the Yankees did. I'm going B+. I could just bump them up to a B. Nah, I'm going B+ for the Yankees. I think they're going to go on a tear. I would not be surprised to see the Yankees win 14 out of 16 games. Would not be surprised to see that. And then, so I had the Yankees as a C+ last week. I'm going B+ for the Yankees right now. Absolutely. That deadline was huge. Gallo and Rizzo, those are just nasty bats to add. I actually want to take a look. I know Rizzo's been doing really good, but Gallo, I haven't really heard. I feel like Gallo hasn't done too much in the couple of games. Yeah, so he's been 0 for 10. I'm already seeing Yankee fans just jumping off the bridge with a Joey. I saw one guy tweet, all right, get rid of Gallo. He's terrible. It's like, come on, dude. It's 2 games. Gallo has been kind of slumping. If we take a look at going back to, good grief. If we go back to the 22nd, 0 for 5, 0 for 4, 0 for 4. He had a home run there in his last game with Texas. But he's been in a slump. I think Gallo's eventually... This is a guy, when he goes on tears. That's what Gallo does. If you take a look, look at the tears that he was going on here. 2 home runs here, home run here, home run here. Look at the tear that he was going on here. Home run, 2 home runs, home run, 2 home runs. That's what he does. He's a bit streaky, but I think with Gallo, that's a dangerous bat. It's a dangerous bat. So I think it's going to be fine. But for the Yankees, I'm going B+ for the Yankees. Moving on to the next one. Here we go. We have the Oakland A's, 60-47. They made some moves. At the deadline. Marte, they added Harrison and Gomes at the deadline there. Let's take one quick look at Oakland. So overall, the moves that they made at the deadline, again, Young Gomes, Harrison, Marte. They also added Chafin. That was a pretty good move. I like that move for the bullpen. So the A's got better. Man, seeing Jesus Luzardo go, that was kind of tough to see. But, hey, what can you do? But the A's overall are a better team now. So the A's last week I had as a B+. So let's go to their schedule. So they're 5-5 in their last 10. I feel like I'm going to keep them at a B+. I like what they did at the deadline. So 8-3 today against the Angels. Yan Gomes homered in his debut. Gotta love it. Gotta love when these guys just come over to their new teams and they just impact the team right away. This past week with the Oakland A's, so they split with the Padres and they took 3 out of 4 against the Angels. I don't know. Do I want to put Oakland maybe as an A? Maybe? I don't know. Right now they're, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They have the 9th best record right now. I actually feel like I might bump them up because I really liked I like the moves that they made. Here we go. Taking a look at the stats. So Oakland, they have the 11th best offense. But they just added a Marte, so that offense is going to get a bit better. And they also added Gomes, who had a home run today, and a Harrison. So for the starting pitching overall is 5th. So that's good. They've had pretty solid starting pitching all year. And for the bullpen, it was weak, but they addressed it. Brought in Andrew Chafin. Like that move. So the bullpen's going to get a bit better. I like it. I like it overall. Let's take a look at right now. What is their lineup looking like right now? So yeah, you got Marte in the 2-hole, Kana, Olsen, Lowry. I've liked this lineup all year. A lot of people were wondering if they were going to end up adding a Trevor Story. To me, Trevor Story he just wasn't worth it. He was having a down year offensively. He wasn't worth the rental, unfortunately. So I read today that, he was kind of bummed out that, he didn't go anywhere, but he hasn't had a good year. It's like it's not worth the prospects, especially if he's just going to leave. If he was hitting 300 with 20 home runs, then yeah, okay. But he's hitting 230 something, 11 homers, 12 homers, something like that. On base hasn't really been all that good. So it wasn't worth adding a Trevor Story. It wasn't worth giving up the prospects. So especially if he's only going to be there for half the season. And there's not a lot of teams that really needed a shortstop. And the difference between him and Trey Turner is Trey Turner can move around. Trevor Story hasn't played any other positions. So that's the one thing, with these guys. Trey Turner, he can practically play anywhere. So Trevor Story just wasn't worth it. Anyway, but for Oakland, you're going to have, you got Gomes there. He's going to provide something. Harrison's going to provide something. I'm going to give him a bump. I like the moves that they made at the deadline. I thought it was good. I had him as a B+ last week. I'm going to go with an A for Oakland right now. I think it's just a solid team overall. I think right now they're looking just pretty solid overall. I like the offense. I like the starting pitching. The offense got better with Amarte. The bullpen got better with Chafin. So I like it. I'm going to give the Oakland A's a bit of a bump. So let's go on now to the San Diego Padres. So the Padres, Padres fans, it's funny, Padres fans have had all the fun, going back to the last trade deadline. You got Clevinger last year, you got Ostanola last year, and then in the offseason, the fun kept going. You had Darvish, you got Blake Snell, and then it looked like, Padres fans were about ready to just party in the streets because it looked like they got Max Scherzer. And then all of a sudden the Dodgers called and said, whoa, hey, hold on a second there. Hold on. We'll take Trey Turner too, and we'll give you these two big-time prospects right here. And the Nationals just said, okay, done deal. So Padres fans had their hearts broken. It looked like they had Max Scherzer. I went live because I thought the Padres got him. It looked like a done deal, and then it didn't get done. So for the Padres, they're 5-5 in their last 10. But, they made some respectable moves. If we take a look at the Padres, let's see what trades they made. They got Adam Frazier. I like the Daniel Hudson move. I actually like that. Jake Marisnick, I think, is some nice depth. So, they made their team better. They needed another starting pitcher. I really think they really missed out on adding a starting pitcher. I'm sure they went after a Berrios. They didn't have what it took to get Berrios. When you take a look at what the Blue Jays gave up, that was the one thing the Padres, that's why they've been able to make these trades. That's why they got Clevinger. That's why they got, Darvish. Well, sure, the Cubs, they kind of took some prospects that were a little more far away. They weren't really their higher prospects, but hey, they still had these guys to get it done. And, you got Blake Snell, who you gave up a Luis Patino for. The Padres, they had the best farm system at one point, but they gave up a lot of these guys, and some of these guys came up, to the major leagues. So really all they had left was, guys like Mackenzie Gore, C.J. Abrams, you had Robert Hassel. But, their farm system's running a little thin except for the guys in, the top 3, top 5. So the Padres, at the end of the day, they just didn't have enough left to go get a guy. They definitely didn't have enough for a Max Scherzer. I'm sure if they could have gotten a Trey Turner too, they would have made it happen, but they didn't have the prospects for it. Jose Berrios, they didn't have the prospects for that. So at the end of the day, the Padres, they just fell short. So for their rotation, as of right now, it's just looking a little thin. You got, Darvish, Musgrove. I feel like Musgrove hasn't been as good since the whole sticky stuff thing. But Blake Snell's been kind of up and down this year. Dylan Alex with another one. DeGrom made Tatis Machado look like scrubs. So, yeah, DeGrom, man, I'm really excited, for hopefully he's going to be healthy for the rest of the year. DeGrom is my favorite pitcher to watch as of right now. I'm going to be pretty excited to, watch Chris Sale again. He's going to be coming back real soon. But, man, DeGrom is a joy to watch, man. He makes people look silly, man. So, but for the Padres, they really needed to add a starter. I like that they added an Adam Frazier. I like that. I thought that was good. So, they could have used a bit of a boost in the offense overall. Not a bad offense by any means, but they could have used a little bit of a boost. So, overall, for the Padres this year, they're 10th overall in the offense. In the starting pitching, they're 16th. And for the bullpen, they're 9th. So, all across the board, they're pretty balanced. But like I said, the starting pitching, I think, needed something, and they couldn't get it done. I do like that they added a Daniel Hudson. I thought that was pretty good. If we take a look, right now for the Padres, they are 3rd in the division. They're 6.5 back. I don't know. I think this division is going to come down to San Francisco and the Dodgers. I feel like in the end, I don't know. Maybe San Francisco hangs on to it, but the Dodgers are getting healthier. They got Scherzer. They got Turner. I wonder if the Dodgers end up going on a run and winning that division there. Still got a lot of time. The Giants are also looking very good. We'll have to wait and see. But I feel like in the end, whoever ends up winning the division, I don't think the Padres are going to win this division. I think they're going to be a wild card team. So, that's another thing. I completely forgot. Fernando Tatis Jr. went down. So he just got put on the IL. Where, again, something going on with that shoulder. He is just, I don't know what is with this guy. He cannot stay healthy to save his life. I think this guy needs to go into the offseason. This dude needs to just start putting on a little bit of thickness on that body, man. He just looks like he just needs a little more. He needs to get a little more thick, man, because this guy just seems like he is just getting bugged by all this kind of stuff. So, it says here he's focused on returning this season, but could undergo season-ending surgery if he doesn't make enough progress. That would be crazy, man. If they lose, because there was one point that people thought he was going to be out for the whole year. I mean, he's still having a really good year. This guy's been nuts. I think overall, he's going to play through it this year. That's my guess. I think he's going to end up playing through it. I think he's going to figure out a way to stay on the field, and then he ends up having like an off-season kind of a thing. We'll have to wait and see. So, Tatis, man, hopefully he's good. Hopefully, because that offense is going to need it. But, hey, good thing they added an Adam Frazier. Because that has ended up being more of an insurance move. Gareth Miller, run differentials. Dodgers, plus 165. Astros, 149. Giants, 119. White Sox, 112. Rays, 112. One of these teams will win the World Series. Go White Sox. Hey, I don't think you're far off from saying that. As of right now, I think my Red Sox... I really like my Red Sox this year. I don't know. Red Sox fans will probably kill me because I don't know. But I just don't think. I don't know. I don't see. I hope I'm wrong. But I really think the Reds. I don't know. I don't know if I see a World Series team as of right now. I think they're really good, but I don't know. I guess it's like a gut thing. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I really hope I'm wrong. These past World Series teams with the Red Sox, 2007, that team just looked so good. 2004 obviously looked really good. I was surprised they went down 3-0 to the Yankees in that series. They were that good that year. And, 2013, I knew how bad they were in 2012, but I liked the team that they had. And when I saw just how they were playing that year, they were just good. They were just good, and they were just a tight-knit team. This team is also pretty tight-knit, I'll say. But they did just lose more than 3 games in a row for the first time all season. If you go back to that 2018 and the 2013 teams, neither of those teams lost three games in a row. So that's the one thing I'm thinking. I don't know. I'm not saying that means they're not going to win it, but I don't know. I wonder if they have enough. I think, they're still a ways away from being a really, really good organization as a whole. I'm glad they've been doing well, but I agree. I think one of those teams, are going to end up winning it. Again, I think my Red Sox, they're showing some cracks. And I was really happy with how they've played. I'm really happy with how they've played so far. But I don't know. Anyway, I'll talk more about the Red Sox here in a little bit. But I agree with you. I feel like one of those teams, Gareth, is probably going to end up winning it. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, I'll talk about the Red Sox here in a little bit. But the Padres, overall, so last week I had them as an A. I'm still going to consider them an A. Hey, kind of an up and down week. So losing Tatis, not great. Made some trades, though. So I'm going to keep him at an A for right now. So... moving on. Here we go. We have the White Sox. Oh my. I hated that they gave up Nick Madrigal. I don't care what anyone says. I loved Nick Madrigal. I thought that guy was great. This dude just got hits. He never struck out. No, yeah, I get it. He doesn't have all that much power, but man, I just love those guys, man. They just get hits. Sat M $5 super chat. The Giants will also be healthy soon. Yes. Brandon Bell, Evan Longoria, Tommy LaStella. I forgot all about Tommy LaStella. Reyes Maranta coming back soon. I think for the Giants, that's going to be huge. We'll talk about the Giants here in a little bit. Sat M, I appreciate that $5 super chat, my friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, the White Sox, I mean, my goodness. That bullpen was already good. And then you added Craig Kimbrell. Are you kidding me? That is insane. And they added Ryan Tepera, and they got a solid second baseman in a Cesar Hernandez. Hey, you might as well sign Cesar Hernandez for a couple more years because you don't got Nick Madrigal anymore. So you might as well get him locked up for a couple of years. The one thing, I am okay with them giving up a Nick Madrigal is usually second base is pretty, it's not the hardest position to fill. There's second baseman out there. So that's what probably the White Sox thought. Like, yeah, we love Nick Madrigal, but they're going for it. That's what I love about it. It's a win now kind of a move. I love what the White Sox did here. I was just a little salty about the Nick Madrigal thing. That's why I didn't fully have the White Sox as like a, top tier winner of the deadline, because I really liked Nick Madrigal, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, but for this team, this year, they got better. That bullpen is nasty. So if we take a look at the bullpen this year for the White Sox, they had the 5th best bullpen this year. And now they added Craig Kimbrell, and that is insane. So I want to actually pull up that White Sox bullpen because I just want to go look at how nice it looks because, you got to appreciate how nice this bullpen looks. So did I go past it? Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. So, Hendricks, Kimbrell, Tepera, Kopech, Crochet. Bummer is having an okay year. Ruiz, Lopez, back there. Come on. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Insane. Another super chat coming in. Julio, $4.99. The Dodgers just got back Corey Seager, Mookie Betts, and get Clayton Kershaw, Gavin Lux, Corey Knebel, and have Max Scherzer and Trey Turner coming. A lot of these teams are getting healthy. They're getting ready for that stretch run. We got 2 more months. The dog days of August are coming up for us here. So these teams need to get healthy. The Dodgers, I'm scared of this Dodgers team, man. I think they're about ready to explode. I think that's just me. I wouldn't be surprised to see this team win like 10, 15 straight games. This team's about ready to explode. Anyway, but for the White Sox, let's take a look at the White Sox. What did they do this past week? Did Kimbrell pitch yesterday? I know I saw he showed up to the game, but did he pitch? So Hendricks got the win today. All right, so Kimbrell did pitch today. So he came in before, already off to a good start. Crazy. But yeah, so a walk-off win for the White Sox today. Who got it for Brian Goodwin? Oh, walk-off home run. Okay. Nice. Not bad. But look at the bullpen. One more time. Another super chat. Gareth Miller. White Sox fans agree. We'd love Madrigal. It was a steep price to pay to pair Kopech, Crochet, Kimbrell, and Hendricks. It will be scary. That could be one of the best bullpens to ever go into the playoffs. I don't know. I've seen some good bullpens in the playoffs before, but my goodness, that is nuts. The Rays bullpen was really good last year, and I think this one, at least on paper, it looks like the best one I've ever seen. I got a few more. You guys are going crazy with these super chats tonight. Man, you guys are going nuts. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate it. When these pop up, I'll read them. So for the White Sox, let's take a look. There comes that super chat. Knight Baseball. What's going on, David Knight? The White Sox have Jake Berger playing second. So, yeah, he'll probably end up being the guy, I would imagine. If they wanted to, they could sign someone, I guess. So, keep Cesar Hernandez for a couple of years. But they do have that option as well. And they got Colson Montgomery. Hey, maybe that's what they were thinking this whole time. Maybe Colson Montgomery ends up being their second baseman of the future. So, yeah, definitely some names to keep an eye out there. David Knight, thank you so much for that $5 super chat. So I think they're going to be fine without Nick Madrigal. I just love Nick Madrigal. I'm a big fan of him. But for the White Sox this week, you lost 3 out of 4 to the Royals, and you won 2 out of 3 against the Indians. I still think this White Sox team is really good. But the question is, are they going to get bumped up to an A+? An A+. Sermon King, be careful, Giants fans. We are coming for you. This bullpen will be awesome. Calling it now. Red Sox, Dodgers. I love it. Let's get my Red Sox to the World Series. Let's do it. I'm all about it. Sermon King, I'm all about it. Rematch of the 2018 World Series. Let's go. Love that. Thank you so much, Sermon King, for the $5. So, but yeah, the White Sox, this team got better. That bullpen is so locked down. I had the White Sox as an A last week. I know they didn't have the greatest week, but, this team is, it's such a good team. The White Sox have the 3rd best offense this year. They have the 2nd best starting pitching. That bullpen is 5th, but that's going to move up. Main adventure, Night Great Scream. What does that mean? Night Great Scream. Did David Knight have a stream? Sorry, I don't know what that means. But congrats, 12K subscribers. Man, Main Adventures. Man, we've had a crazy week, man. This has been absolutely crazy this week. Seeing 12,000 subscribers, it's still nuts to me, man. We're closing in on 13. We're closing in on 13,000. So the White Sox, I'm feeling pretty good about the White Sox right now. I'm going to go A+ for them. That bullpen is locked down. It's going to get even better. The starting pitching is already really good. The offense is already really good. I'm going A+ for the White Sox. I'm giving them a bump. Definitely giving them some love this week. Moving on to the Milwaukee Brewers. Hey, the Brewers had themselves a good deadline. 63-43. They're 7-3 in their last 10. The Brewers, they made some really good moves. Really like what the Brewers did this past week. Let's go take a look at Milwaukee. I like the John Curtis move. Actually, I thought that was pretty good. Daniel Norris thing was a low-key, pretty good move. Eduardo Escobar, solid bat to add. I liked it. And they added Rowdy Tellez, earlier this month, and he's been really good for the Brewers so far. I like the Brewers. I like this team. They're just solid. I love the Eduardo Escobar move. I thought that was good, adding some pop to that lineup. If we take a look at the numbers for Milwaukee, they're currently 19th in offense, but you also have to remember Milwaukee's offense was dead last at one point. But Milwaukee, in the past month, they have the number one, I take that back. They're overall the best team in offense and defense in the month of July, but they had the 6th best offense in the month of July. So Milwaukee is clicking with the offense right now. That starting pitching has been just so good all year. They have the best starting pitching. The bullpen got better with a John Curtis. I'm telling you, Milwaukee, I'm going to say this right now. I would love, sorry Dodger fans, sorry Giants fans, sorry Padres fans, sorry Mets fans, I would love to see the Brewers in the World Series. I would love it. I would absolutely love it if the Brewers got to the World Series. If I saw a Rays-Brewers World Series, maybe the ratings won't look very good for that, but I'll tell you, I'll be all over that. I would love that World Series. If it ends up being Rays-Brewers, that would be so fun. I would love that. The Brewers are a really fun team. They've been great. The starting pitching's been amazing. They had one of the best offenses in the month of July. The bullpen got better. Actually, where do they rank in the bullpen? Overall, Milwaukee's bullpen, like I said, they needed a boost. They were 15th in relief pitching this year. But adding a Curtis, adding a Norris, those are pretty good moves. And actually, I want to see where does Fangraphs have these two slated in their bullpen? They got Curtis. They were middle relief guys, and I've been saying that too. The back end of that bullpen is locked down. Hader, Devin Williams had a bit of a rough start to the year, but he's been really good, lately. And I think they just needed guys in the middle relief. I think, hey, got to remember those, the closers are always, the sexy relief pitchers, but hey, those middle relief guys are pretty important. You got to bridge the gap to the end of the game. And, hey, these are two pretty solid guys, especially John Curtis. Daniel Norris is, he's interesting. I believe his FIP is better than the ERA. 5.79 ERA, but the FIP is a 3.72. So Daniel Norris I thought was a pretty good addition. And actually, and that's really good for Daniel Norris. You know why? Because the Milwaukee Brewers have some good defense. They have the second best defense in the major leagues. So Daniel Norris, super chat, Matthew Rosie, lifelong Brewers fan here, by far the most confidence I've had. They're looking good. But I'm telling you right now that Daniel Norris move is going to be low-key really good because Daniel Norris, I believe, he was on the Tigers. Where do the Tigers rank in terms of defense? The Tigers were dead last. Oh, what do you know? The FIP, it shows itself again. Daniel Norris is going to be really good out of that bullpen for the Brewers because he was pitching with really bad defense behind him. He's going to go to the second best defense in the major leagues. So Daniel Norris is going to be a great pickup for the Brewers. I love that. So, and then even Curtis. What was Curtis's FIP? I believe where am I at? Oh, I believe the Marlins had... Yeah, the Marlins had good defense. So, yeah, Curtis was doing good. But Norris is going to be a good pickup for them. I like that move. For the Brewers, let's go take a look. What have they been doing this past week? So, they won today against the Braves. And even Josh Hader today, he's saying there's something special about this Brewers team. And hey, no one's thinking of the Milwaukee Brewers. Everyone's looking at the Dodgers. Everyone's looking at the Padres, the Giants, even the Mets. No one's talking about the Brewers, and I think they like it that way. Hold on, actually, let me go to... No, I want to look at their schedule. Here we go. So you swept the Pirates. You won 2 out of 3 against the Braves. You know, I had the Brewers as an A last week. I'm liking this Brewers team. I'm liking the Brewers. I'm giving them a bump. I'm going A+ for the Milwaukee Brewers. I'm liking it. Many people probably won't agree with me, but I like the Milwaukee Brewers. I'm giving them some love today. I'm going A+ for the Milwaukee Brewers. They had a solid deadline. Like the move. Eduardo Escobar is only going to help. I love it. I love the Brewers. I'm going A+ for the Milwaukee Brewers. I'm putting them up there. We'll have to see. Can they keep it going? We'll have to wait and see on that. But Milwaukee Brewers, I'm giving them some love. They have made it into the A+ for me. And they're playing good baseball lately. I know they played the Pirates this past week, but whatever. I don't care. Milwaukee's doing pretty good. So, moving on. My Red Sox. So, you know, it's interesting. Actually, let me refresh this because they're going to be 63 and 44 now. So, they are now... did I refresh this? Yeah, so they're a game and a half back of Tampa now. So for the Red Sox, you know, I thought their deadline was fine. I don't know. I liked adding Schwarber. I went crazy over that. I thought that was awesome. But I thought with, you know, I understand why they weren't able to add some guys. So I was saying for a while there, I didn't think they were going to go over that luxury tax line. But Bloom went over it. He went over it a little bit. He spoke after the trade deadline, and he said, you know, it wasn't really a hard line. You know, it was a bit more of a soft line. They would have preferred to stay under it. But they did need a left-handed bat, and preferably, you know, a left-handed bat for first base. They could put Schwarber at first. So, actually saw Kyle Schwarber in the dugout yesterday at Tropicana Field. I was right next to the Red Sox dugout, and I saw him in his Red Sox hat. He looked pretty good in the Red Sox hat. What can I say? But Kyle Schwarber, I like the move. You know, I saw Austin Davis pitch yesterday. You know, there was a couple of things I liked about Austin Davis. He actually had some pretty good life on the fastball. Give up a couple of runs, whatever. Hanzo Robles is a guy that throws hard, but I trust Chaim Bloom in finding guys that he looks for things that a lot of people don't really see, you know, surface level. He looks beneath the surface. He looks for more advanced things with these guys. So who knows? Maybe they can end up, you know, I thought the Red Sox needed to add some depth for, you know, something for the bullpen. You know, there's times where the bullpen, they've been really good, but there's been times where they've had some hiccups. Overall,
I liked what the Red Sox did. I didn't think it was an amazing trade deadline by any means. I thought it was good. I thought it was okay. So, but, for the Red Sox, they're starting to show some cracks. They're starting to show a few cracks in the armor a little bit. Coming into this season, I think a lot of teams thought the Red Sox, or a lot of people would think the Red Sox would be good. I thought they could be a 90-win team. I thought they could. I think I predicted them to have like 86 or 87 wins. A lot of people were thinking more like anywhere from 78 to 84, somewhere in that range. But I thought, you know what, this team is good. Don't sleep on the Red Sox this year, and I really meant that from an unbiased point of view. So, I was looking at this team as a whole, and I'm like, it's a pretty good team. I don't know what people are thinking here, but it's a pretty good team. And for the Red Sox, the numbers have showed they're 9th overall in the offense. They are 4th in starting pitching. That's the bullpen. I apologize. Where is the starting pitching? What happened to the starting pitching? Where did it go? Starters. Probably. Oh, okay. I know what I did. So, yeah, relievers. But, yeah, for the starters, they have been 9th in starting pitching. So, they have been... Wait, what is going on? No, that needs to be batting. I'm getting all thrown off right now, everyone. All right, let me take this back. So, the Red Sox, they're 9th in offense. They're 9th in starting pitching. But the bullpen's been good. They're 4th in the bullpen. Like I said, they've been really good this year, but they've had a couple of hiccups here and there, which I thought, okay, maybe we should try and solidify this a little more. In the month of July, the Red Sox, the offense was a little stagnant in July. They were 19th overall. If we take a quick glance at the starting pitching, they were 8th overall, and they were 9th in the bullpen. So, the Red Sox, they're starting to show some cracks, like I said. I thought their deadline was okay. For the Red Sox, though, they haven't really been playing great lately. They've lost 4 in a row. They got swept by Tampa. So I think for the Red Sox, I have to drop them down. They were an A+ last week. So the Red Sox, they have been bumped down to an A. That's where I've had the Red Sox for most of the year. But I'm not going to consider them an A+ team as of right now. I'm going to drop them down to an A. I like the Schwarber move, but they're showing some cracks. So hopefully Chris Sale can come back, kind of bring some energy to that team. And hopefully the bullpen guys that they brought in could end up being something. And hopefully Schwarber can go off and that, really provide something for that offense. So the Red Sox I have as an A. We have 4 teams left. Moving on to... did I skip the... Wait, no, I did. Why did I do the Red Sox? Oh, probably because the Red Sox, they lost, so they dropped below the Brewers. Okay, so now I'm on to the Dodgers. So, hey, this Dodgers team, what else is there to say? I had them as an A+ last week. I'm going to keep them as an A+. I'm not going to waste any time there. You added a Max Scherzer and a Trey Turner. What else is there to say? It's phenomenal. Phenomenal moves. The team's payroll is through the roof, but these are smart moves that they're making. They're smart moves. So overall, let's go look at what they did, and also Danny Duffy, and then they also had a Billy McKinney last week, and then that can be a guy help him out in the outfield for depth. But hey, that's a monster move. Max Scherzer and Trey Turner. That's disgusting. They destroyed the Diamondbacks today. Absolutely destroyed them. They're going to be getting guys healthy. I don't know what's going to happen with Trevor Bauer. I'm imagining Trevor Bauer is going to be out for the rest of the year. I would think he's probably not going to come back. I just think even just the way he'll be received by the fans, I think he needs to just step away for the rest of the year. That's just my opinion. It's just, you have to let the court of law decide, what's going to happen. You got to let it go through the process. So I don't know what's going to happen with Trevor Bauer from a legal standpoint. I don't know. I'm not an expert by any means, but I think just even then, it's been too much attention or bad attention on that. I think he needs to, unless they take it to court and it ends up being that they prove him innocent and whatever, and he's fine, then I think in that case, he can come back. But they just keep dragging this out. And I don't know, he keeps getting, his paid leave getting extended and extended even more. So I don't know. I don't know if he's going to come back. But if he did, let's say he came back. Oh my. That rotation is just stupid at that point. Absolutely stupid. So, but this past week, the Dodgers, they lost 2 out of 3 to the Giants, but they lost the first game to the Diamondbacks, but they just destroyed the Diamondbacks over the next 2 games. Got a fun series coming up. We have the Astros and the Dodgers this coming week. So 2-game series. That's going to be pretty fun to watch. But yeah, Dodgers, they're getting healthier. They got Mookie back. Actually, let me go pull up the Dodgers here. Let's just kind of check on their injuries real quick. So you got Gavin Lux with a strained hamstring at the moment, but Trey Turner's going to come back eventually from the COVID-19 list. So, Danny Duffy, he's going to come back eventually. Kershaw is going to come back eventually. Actually, what's the update on him? $5 super chat. Everyone roasted the Mets for not getting Bauer. We signed Taijuan Walker, who's had similar stats, and we paid him nothing. Yes, that ended up being a very good value move. Now Bauer might be done. I mean, it's pretty funny when you look back on it. In hindsight, a lot of the Mets were getting a lot of grief for that. So ended up being, I think, it worked out. Could you imagine if, let's say the same thing, something similar. I mean, in that case, he would have been in New York. So, I mean, I don't know. Who knows if he would have gotten into the same kind of a thing. You know what I mean? But let's say that did happen. Oh, my. Oof. I mean, the fact that he's in L.A., which is a lot more laid back than in Queens. Could you imagine if he was with the Mets and that happened? The media would be going crazy. Absolutely crazy. They would be nonstop. So, here we go. Kershaw. What's going on with Kershaw? So, he played some catch. He played catch, but won't throw a simulated game on Sunday. So, it looks like they're taking it easy with him. So maybe we're not going to see Kershaw back for, a couple weeks, few weeks. I'd imagine probably a few more weeks. So, but yeah, the Dodgers are looking stupid good right now. Had him as an A+ last week. They're going to stay at an A+ for me. So, and Mookie Betts is playing better too. He wasn't really doing very good those first few months, and he's been playing a lot better as of late. So, moving on. The Tampa Bay Rays. Like I said, I kind of raved about this team. I saw them last night at Tropicana Field. The amount of barrels, so they made a lot of outs yesterday, but even those outs were just loud. They were just having good at-bats. They were working counts. The pitching, like I said, Ryan Yarbrough, he didn't have the best start by any means, but he worked his way through. He just fought. He gutted through that outing, and then the bullpen came in. They got into some really serious jams, and they worked themselves out of it. They just look like a team. They're not going to have they have a very talented team. They have so much talent out there, but they just find ways to win. They're so relentless. They're so relentless. I can't stop raving about this Rays team. But, a lot of people were expecting they were going to make some kind of a move. It looked like they were in play for a Max Scherzer. It looked like they were in play, for someone like a Jose Berrios. Ended up not coming together. They ended up bringing in, a Jordan Luplow. I don't know what they ended up doing with him. They brought in a Shagwa to replace a Diego Castillo, which, interesting move. But I think, they got an Austin Shenton out of it. But for the team this year, losing Castillo, I mean, hey, you're replacing him with a Shagwa. But that's how deep their bullpen is. They're okay with losing a Castillo. And brought in Nelson Cruz a couple weeks ago. So, I mean, the Rays got better, and they've been playing great baseball. They're first in the division right now. They're looking really good. This team looks like they're about to go on another run. And McClanahan pitched really good today, and that's another guy I think is a underrated guy going down the stretch. He's been having a really good season. I mean, a lot of people I feel like aren't paying attention to Shane McClanahan, and he's been really good. So pulling him up. They got Luis Patino in that rotation now, but McClanahan, I mean, he was good today. He was good. So he's had 15 starts. He's got a 3.54 FIP. I mean, he's been really solid. I think he's going to get consideration for Rookie of the Year. I don't see why he wouldn't. I mean, this guy's been phenomenal. So look at the XFIP, a 3.27. Very good. But yeah, for the Rays, I'm going A+. I'm sticking A+ for them. I mean, they're just a phenomenal team. Wouldn't be surprised to see this team, make it to the World Series. And I especially in that American League that's wide open. Wouldn't be surprised at all. They're a good team. They're a hungry team. So Rays, A+. We're down to 2, the Astros and the Giants. So both teams had good deadlines. So Houston right now, let's get to Houston first, and we'll talk about the Giants last. So they have lost a couple of games in a row, but there's still a lot to like, obviously, about the Houston Astros. So they have the best offense in all of baseball. The starting pitching has been pretty underrated this year. They're 10th in starting pitching. It's been solid. The bullpen was a weakness, but they addressed the bullpen. They made some acquisitions. I hated that they gave up a Miles Straw, but they got a Phil Mate in there who is going to be pretty good, I think, for the Astros. Let's actually go pull up what the Astros are looking like right now. But here are the moves. Again, they got a Phil Maton, but they got Yimi Garcia, they got Kendall Graveman, and even brought in a Rafael Montero, so maybe he can end up doing something. For the Astros, the starting rotation, I think, is really solid. These guys are just making their starts. But the bullpen had a complete makeover this past week. Kendall Graveman, Yimi Garcia going right to the back end. So actually, what ended up happening to... What happened to Presley? Where is he? Oh, he's on the paternity list. Okay. I was about to say, wait, did he get hurt? I was about to say, I didn't see that. Okay. So, but yeah, Presley's going to come back. I mean, that's a good-looking bullpen right now. This is a team that can absolutely make it to a World Series this year. I don't see why they couldn't. Amazing offense. The starting pitching has been holding it down. The bullpen just got better. I mean, easy A+. Easy. I don't see why I would take them out of the A+ spot, even though they've lost a couple of games in a row here. But easily the Astros are an A+. Easily. The bullpen looks phenomenal now. I like it. I love it. So actually, with Maton, where are they putting him in the minors? Or is he... Where is Maton? Oh, okay, they're putting him in middle relief. So for Maton, it was a big price to pay giving up a Miles Straw, but he's actually been really good. He's got a 3.06 FIP this year compared to a 4.46 ERA. So for the Astros, let me actually pull up something here really quick. So Cleveland, how was their defense this year? Cleveland was 21st. Oh, we got another super chat. Dylan Alex, top 3 players, Trout, DeGrom, Betts, thoughts. I think you got to put Ohtani somewhere in there. I maybe put Ohtani right now, somewhere in that top 3. I think Ohtani's been phenomenal. So I would put Ohtani in that top 3 as of right now. Maybe Vlad Jr. can have a case for that. So, why not? Let's pull up the Fangraphs WAR leaders as of right now. These guys. I think you got to put Ohtani there. Maybe make a case for Fernando Tatis Jr. I don't know. I think he's obviously talented enough to be a top 3 player, but the guy's just always hurt. So, he's not always hurt, but he gets hurt. Vlad Jr., you can make a case. So, I still consider Trout the best player in the freaking universe, but I think Shohei Ohtani, I think he deserves to get a spot there. And, I don't know. I think an underrated guy is Trey Turner. And Ronald Acuna Jr., too. I think Ronald Acuna Jr., he's, man, it's too bad he went down, man. It's too bad he went down. But anyway, thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate that. Anyway, so we were on the Astros. There's no reason to take them out from an A+, so they are an A+ for this week. And for the Giants, you added a Kris Bryant. A great move adding him. So really like that. And then taking a look here, they have the best record in Major League Baseball right now. They're just playing great baseball. Kris Bryant with the home run today, beating the Astros, the top 2 teams in the major leagues right now, and you took it to the Astros. So beating them this past week, or beating them today, let's take a look at how they did this past week. I like this Giants team. I like them a lot. But here we go. So you won 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers, and you won 2 out of 3 against the Astros. So, they got better by adding Kris Bryant. I love it. Good move. No reason to take them out of the A+. So these are my teams right now for A+. My teams for A's. My B+ teams. My B's. My C+. the C's, the D's, and the F's. But before I get out of here, I got to do my top 10. So the top 10, last week, we had the Astros as my number 1 team. I had Giants at number 2, the Dodgers at number 3, the Red Sox at number 4, the White Sox at number 5, the Rays at number 6, the Padres at number 7, the Brewers at number 8, the Mets at number 9, and the A's at 10. So let's take a look. So let's start off with number 10. I still think Oakland right now, I still think, they deserve to stay. And real quick, let me just take a look at, so who are the teams? So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so I still think right now, I still think the Blue Jays and the Yankees are on the outside. So I still think I'm going to be keeping the same teams in my top 10 for right now. I would say I'm actually going to put the, all right, so, okay. I'm actually going to put the Mets at number 10. I'm going to start them off. I think the A's just had a better deadline this past week. I like them adding a Javier Baez. They got a Trevor Williams there, but I think Oakland, they made a few more, a couple more moves there. I like the moves that the Oakland A's make. So I'm going to put Oakland at number 9. I'm going to bump them up from 9 to 10. From 10 to 9, and I'm going to put the Mets at number 10 as of right now. I'm going to move the Padres down as of right now. I think just simply because I think the Brewers are just playing some better baseball right now, and they made some really solid moves. I like what the Padres did, but they lost Fernando Tatis Jr., so that's going to make them a little weaker. So I'm going to put the Brewers, or the Padres at number 7. I'm going to put the Brewers at number 6, and at number 5, I'm going to put I'm going to put the Brewers at number 6. I'm going to put the Red Sox, not 10, 9, 8. So Red Sox at number 7, Brewers at number 6. I'm going to put the Brewers a bit ahead of the Red Sox right now. I think I think the Brewers are playing that good right now. The Red Sox have been slumping. So the Red Sox last week I had at number 4. So the Red Sox slide down to number 7 on my list. The Brewers have moved up to number 6. So number 5 on my list, last week I had the White Sox. But, I think, so I had the Rays at number 6. I'm going to put the Rays at 5, and I'm going to put the White Sox at number 4. I really want to put the Rays a little ahead. I really want to put the Rays near the top. I really like the way they're playing, but the White Sox, that bullpen got really good, man, and they added a pretty solid second baseman in Cesar Hernandez, and they just look good, man. But the Rays are looking really good. I'm actually a little torn between this. The Rays have been playing so good. But the White Sox, they made just some great moves, man. That bullpen is nasty. The starting pitching is nasty. And if we take a look here, Tampa's 7-3. They've won 4 straight. I'm having a tough one here. I was so convinced a second ago. I had the Rays at 5, White Sox at 4. How are their records against 500? The White Sox haven't really done great against teams that are over 500. I feel like they've been doing better lately. But the Rays are so good against teams over 500. They just swept my Red Sox, who have one of the better records in the game. Man, what are you guys saying here in the chat? What are you guys saying? Maneki, man, the White Sox have been playing worse than the Rays. I think, the Rays have been playing good. The Rays have, I've been just raving about the Rays tonight. I'm going to put the Rays at 4. White Sox at 5. So I love what the White Sox, it's like a tie. These two teams, that's tough. That's really tough for me. I like the ways the Rays have been playing lately. The way they played last night when I saw them live, they just look so good. So I'm going to put the Rays at number 4, White Sox at number 5. So that leaves the Astros, the Dodgers, and the Giants. So the Astros last week, I had at number 1. The Giants I had at number 2. And the Dodgers I had at number 3. Ooh. I mean, based off of this trade deadline, I like the Giants adding Kris Bryant. I do. I like them adding a Kris Bryant. But man, the Dodgers added Scherzer and Turner. Ugh. Jeez. That's just so good. And, they both won 2 in a row. I gotta... I don't know. Let's look at the stats. I'm gonna turn to the stats here. Let's turn to the stats. So, actually, real quick before I look at the stats, San Francisco, they are 26-21 against teams that are over 500. The Dodgers are 21-24. It's actually very surprising. So, that's not the stats. Here we go. So, the offense, the Dodgers are 4th. The Giants are 5th. For the starting pitching, the Dodgers are 3rd and the Giants are 7th. And they just added a Max Scherzer. For the bullpen, the Dodgers are 8th and the Giants are 16th. But in the month of July, the Dodgers were 5th and the Giants were 6th. This is tough. The Dodgers clearly had the better deadline. No disrespect to the Giants adding a Kris Bryant. No disrespect. But they added Scherzer and Turner. That's just insane. So, both had kind of similar weeks. But I don't know. The Giants, they took it to the Astros this past weekend. This is tough. This is really tough. You know what? I'm going to get... this is so tough. Yeah, you know what? All right, fine. You know what? I'll let you guys vote. What are you guys going to... Help me out here. I'm putting the Giants or the Astros at number 3. Or no, I take that back. I'm putting the Dodgers or the Giants at number 3. Who's going to be at number 3? Dodgers or Giants? Giants are not my number 1 team. I'm going to let you all know I'm putting the Astros as my number 1 team. The Astros are number 1 right now. I'll get to the Astros here in a second. Whoa, you guys are going crazy with the comments. Oh, I feel like it's pretty mixed. It's pretty mixed. So someone said in the chat, Mullen Labe, how can the Giants be number 3? The reason I'm having a tough time with this is because the Dodgers just added Scherzer and Turner. They just added Scherzer and Turner. That's insane. That team is loaded. That's huge. I love that the Giants added Bryant, but they added Scherzer and Turner. All right, you know what? Fine. All right, here's what I'll do. I'm going to hold. I had the Giants at number 2 last week. Dodgers at number 3. I'll hold. I'll stick with it. I'll stick with the top 3, the same top 3 from last week. Easily, the Astros are number 1. They have the best offense. They have really good starting pitching. And the bullpen just got way better. So, I'm going to be honest with you. I really kind of want to put the Dodgers here. But you know what? The Giants continue to play well. I think the Dodgers, this might change next week. So, that's me. But I have the Astros again at number 1. They have the best offense in the game. The starting pitching has been solid all year. The bullpen got way better, adding a Graveman. Are you kidding? Adding a Yimi Garcia as well. I mean, that's so good. And they're going to put Maton in that bullpen too. So, but yeah, I'm going to keep the Giants at number 2 for right now. I think the Astros, while the Giants may have the best record in all of Major League Baseball, I think the Astros, I know the Giants just beat the Astros. I understand that. But whatever. Teams can drop series here and there. It happens. Whatever. Hey, it happens. But look at the Astros overall against teams against 500. They're 42-25 on the year. The Giants are 26-21. So the Astros, to me, personally, I'm going Astros. I'm going Astros. That's just my opinion. I know some people are going to give me some heat for that. But to me, the Astros are the number 1 team. There we go. That is my top 10 for this week. So, everyone, I want to thank you so much for coming out for the weekly power rankings. We had so many super chats tonight. I want to thank you all so much. I mean, again, we had a $100 super chat bomb. Thank you so much for that again. I really appreciate that. We had a 50. Thank you so much for that. We had a lot of 5s tonight. 2s. I want to say thank you to all of you. I mean, I really appreciate that. Again, all super chats go to the channel. So, but yeah, everyone, I'll be back here for the power rankings next week. Expect a couple of live streams this week. I'm going to try and start playing MLB The Show. Maybe do a team rebuild or something like that. I'm going to try and go live for you guys. I'm going to try and bring back the hot takes this coming week. So, but definitely be on the lookout for some live streams this week. So definitely going to start bumping those up. And look out for any videos that I post. And also, hey, go take a look at any videos that I did this past week in case you missed anything. But one more time before I get out of here, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't liked the stream, hit that like button for me. And yeah, hit the bell button, hit the share button, hit all the buttons. But everyone, I want to thank you again for coming out tonight. Have a good week, and I will see you next time.